Hi, this is Mark Noblo with Mid-Minnesota Sports, and we've got a chance today to talk to Dave Montbriand, the BBE boys basketball coach. And I guess I should say former coach, huh? What's the deal with that?
That's right, Mark. A couple days ago I turned in my resignation. It's been 21 years, and just going out with a good feeling. It just feels like the right time for me to call it quits and let somebody else try this fun job.
Can you take us through the process of were you thinking about this to start the season, and did it make a difference as to how you finished, or what was the process there?
I think most coaches probably think about it every year. You think in terms of let's get through this year, let's see how this year goes. You're basically on a one-year contract, so I think every coach evaluates after the year. When I took the job back 6 years ago, my plan was to try to make it 6 more years. And this was the 6th year and ended really successfully, and it just feels like the right time to call it a career.
Okay. If you don't mind, could we go through a brief history with you? How did it all end up being here at BBE? Because you're a Bloomington kid, right?
Yeah, I'm from Bloomington, Jefferson, and went to college at St. Thomas and then graduated from Hamlin. Came out to Bruton just looking for a job. They were not hiring in the Twin Cities. I heard about an opening in Bruton. I looked it up on a road map, found out where it was, and came up Highway 55. It was easy to find, and was hired here and taught and coached in Bruton for 3 years till we paired, and we switched to BBE in 1989, and I took over the head boys basketball in the 90-91 season. Did that for 15 years, and I was able to move over to the girls and watch my daughter play her sophomore, junior, and senior year as the B squad coach. The job opened back up 6 years ago, and that's the story.
I'm still just interested, though. So you're here for your first year. There's no stop sign, no stoplights here like you have in Bloomington. What were your thoughts? Were you thinking about moving on, or was this just a stepping stone, or then what are the things that made you stay?
I guess originally I would think of it as a stepping stone. It's, get my foot in the door, get a job, get some experience. But as I lived here a couple years, and we had a couple kids, had my son Justin and my daughter Annie, had some job interviews in the cities and was offered one job about 3 years in. But it just got to the point where, can I afford to live down here? When looking at the cities around here, my wife was able to stay home and take care of the kids. We live right across the street. And I just had to think to myself, what's a better situation, moving back down to the cities or being right here where I can raise my kids in a small town and walk to work? And, I think I made the right decision.
Let me also allude to the fact that, too, with your wife, and I'm sure she's been very supportive, and what has that taken for you two to make it through all these years and doing what you do?
Yeah, I couldn't do it without my wife. She's definitely the person I can lean on, in the tough times, and she's always there. Your wife gives you that unconditional love that I think we all need. Yeah, she was able to stay home for most of the years through my kids' schooling, and then she went back to college after Kirby got in kindergarten, and now she's working for the school district too. But it's team. I think every coach will tell you, it's teamwork. If you are married, it has to be a team effort, and she supported me all the way, and there's no way I could have done it without her.
As I watch you coach, and let's say more or less your style as you coach, you don't seem to me to be a yeller and a screamer, but you will say things to get your point across. Are there some coaches that you've had in the past or even now that you've kind of looked at and kind of patterned yourself after?
I will say when I started out, I did a lot more. I was louder and a little more active and things on the bench. I think I learned to just the more you can control your emotions, the clearer your mind can be, and you can think about coaching. I guess a big role model of mine was Jack Evans at Bloomington Jefferson. He was always very calm, just always was focused on the game. And as I got older, I tended to be more like him. My dad was a coach. I always looked up to him. He was a little more vocal than Jack was, but I'd say those two were probably my biggest role models, and I really look up to them. I still do.
You know, it also takes, I'm sure, a lot of help, too. Through the years, assistant coaches that you've had, I see Coach Brad Goodwin. Can you describe him and what he has meant to you and to this program, too?
Yeah, Brad's been a big help. I started out under Brad. I was an assistant when I came for 5 years, and when Brad stepped down, I took over. And when I came back 6 years ago, Brad had been out for a while, and part of the deal of me getting back in was asking Brad if he'd be my assistant. And once he agreed to come on board with me, that's when I decided, hey, I think I want to do this again. But, you know, if Brad wouldn't join me, you know, I may not have stepped back into this job, and maybe none of this would have happened.
Mm-hmm. Can you describe, too, you've had such great success here at BBE with basketball. What does it take to build a program? Because I can say for sure, we've been coming down here for years with the little kids stuff. There's always something going on. What does it take to build a program like this?
Just getting the kids to fall in love with the game early. Have a lot of activities for them, have a lot of opportunities for them to get in the gym. I think it's just really, really important that the head coach get in the gym on the Saturdays, too. I've been there every Saturday since I started, and I think the kids, you know that you're the head coach, and they see you there, and you take an interest in them right away. And, you know, I've gotten a lot of help over the years, obviously, all the coaching it takes to coach an elementary program. But I think we've all had the understanding, let's get the kids to love the game. If you can get them to love the game in elementary, you know, the rest can kind of take care of itself.
But I'm sure it's also true, too, with the size of BBE, the teams that you play against, it's important to play other sports as well. And I see like this last crew of guys, very good football players, are out there playing baseball. How do you emphasize that with the guys, too?
I've just personally been a huge believer in playing the three sports. Yeah, as a player myself in high school, I played three sports almost all the way to the top. I was the type of kid, whatever season it was, that was my favorite season. If you asked me in football, what's your favorite sport, I would have told you football. If it asked me in baseball season, I'm going to tell you baseball. If it basketball season, I said basketball is my favorite sport. So I came up with that philosophy, and, you know, my family had that, and I just really encouraged everybody at BB, and I think all the coaches do here. You know, let's help all the teams out. Let's be dedicated to your sport during the season, and a lot of work has to be done in the off season too. And you know, our kids are lifting weights, and they play a ton of baseball in the summer too. But I give the kids a lot of credit. They're really busy. They put sports as a real priority, and you know, my hat's off to them for participating in so much.
Mm-hmm. What is the record now? 121-4 in the last 4 years?
I've seen it in print a lot, so I do have it memorized. Yeah, yep, 121-4. So yeah, it's hard to believe, and you know, we're really proud of that. But kids have just been really consistent.
Well, and then also playing at home. How many wins at home in a row?
That streak is at 71. So again, we've just kept winning the next game, and it's just hard to believe it's gotten that high.
What is it like for another team to come into your gym?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know what it feels like for other teams, but to me, I just feel like, you know, it's another game, and we're playing at home. I think everybody likes playing at home, and we like playing at home. Our gym's a little different with the short distance between on the baseline with the wall there, fans on one side. You know, so it's a different environment, I think, for other teams. But you know, we've done awfully good on the road too. We just like to play basketball, and we are more comfortable at home like most teams.
You know, you've been doing it for a long time now, to where when you think back and kind of reflect on some of those teams that you've had, do other ones stand out other than others, or how do you look at that right now as you sit here?
Boy, they've all been special. I've done a pretty good job of keeping a scrapbook, and I make a book for the kids every year of all the articles and statistics and things like that. So occasionally I go back and look at all the years, and you know, the memories from every year come back pretty quickly once I start looking at those books. But you know, the state championship teams are always going to stand out, and the runner-up team, the first time we made the state tournament, it's something that stands out. And then I think the times that we lost in the section finals, you know, I remember those more than the others too. So it's a lot of good memories. You know, some endings don't turn out the way you want, but I can't complain. Twice we ended the season with a win.
Mm-hmm. So you look at these guys, say like this last crew that just got done 6, 7 years ago when they're in 5th and 6th grade and they're just skinny kids running around that gym. Do you see anything in them, or are they just another group, or what do you think about them right now?
I thought they could be special. As an elementary teacher, I see the kids early. I see quite a bit of them, and I get to know them a little bit, know how competitive they are, know how interested they are in sports, and particularly basketball. And I had a feeling this group could win the state tournament. I've had that feeling with a couple other groups, but I definitely can say in elementary, I thought this group possibly could be one of those special teams. And it took a lot of hard work in between, but they certainly lived up to their potential.
I think we should mention too about the fans around the BBE and the whole area here. Boy, they turn out and really support this team, don't they?
Wow, yeah, it's just so nice to see them all there. They're really proud of the team, and I can tell you that the team's really proud of them, especially at the state tournament when the whole state gets to see that kind of support. And the kids are down there playing and looking up at all that blue, and I think it really inspired them, and I know it inspired me, and I just can't say enough about our fans.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, we'd like to congratulate you on the success that you've had through the years and with the teams, and certainly basketball fans around the state of Minnesota, when you say BBE basketball, they know what that means. And if you're going to play against BBE, you better be ready, right?
Yeah, I've just been really lucky to be able to work with kids like this and families like this, so thanks a lot, Mark.
All right. Thank you. That's Dave Montbriand, the former coach of the BBE boys basketball team who just got done winning the state basketball tournament.